Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our webinar entitled Plastic and its Role in Sustainability for Global Businesses, the hashtag LiveGreen launch and sharing session by Guan Industries. We are glad to have you join us. We have people from all over the globe today, from South Africa all the way to Europe and down again in Australia, not to forget those from Malaysia as well. There are reps from 32 countries today. So I just want to thank you for joining us. My name is Rachel Yo, and I will be your MC for today. Before we start, I would like to go through some of the house rules so everyone knows what to expect. You can see on the screen right now. Do note that some of the sharing sessions are pre-recorded to better manage the time difference of our global speakers. However, their representatives and the speakers themselves are tuning in to answer all your queries. To ask a question, please click on the Q&A question and answer icon located at the bottom of the Zoom application. Before you send your question, please state your name and company so that we know who we are addressing. You can also state who the question is targeted to. Please be patient as our admins review your questions and work on their replies. If you're sharing a screenshot of this webinar or opening a discussion on what we will be speaking on today on social media, do tag us and hashtag Thong and hashtag LiveGreen as well. And that is all I have to say for now. I hope all of you are ready for the webinar today. First, I want to invite Dato PK Ang, the Executive Director of Guan Industries, to be in the spotlight for his opening speech. Dato.
Hello, good afternoon, friends from Asia and Malaysia, and good morning, Europe. Good evening, Australia and New Zealand, and midnight, US. Firstly, welcome to the LiveGreen launching today. And on behalf of Guan, I would like to thank the speakers. There's Dr. Zhang Han from Dow Chemical, Shanghai, and Mr. McLeod from Thaigan, Johannesburg, South Africa, and Lylin from Messe Worldwide, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and Christian Olesen from TG Stretch, Europe, in Denmark, and of course, David Ang from HQ. We are in contact with all types of packaging, either directly or indirectly. But what do we do with the packaging film before and after discarding it? Regardless of who we are, what roles we play, it is everyone's responsibility. The reason behind the growing demand of plastic is simple. Plastic is a valuable material. In fact, it is the most sustainable packaging material over other alternatives. For instance, plastic can be easily fabricated into any shapes and forms. It is lightweight and has high performance properties. They consume lower energy to produce and recycle compared to other materials. And they have good barrier properties, increases shelf life to extend food freshness, hence less food wastage. In healthcare, for protection, imagine without face masks and protective gears, which are 100% plastics, the pandemic will reach an unimaginable level of worse. And because plastic, it is thermoplastics and recyclable. Imagine a world without plastics. Many things may not be feasible or possible. Yet, it is one of the most controversial materials and topics in the news today. I believe plastic is here to stay, intentionally or literally, because the volume is growing every year. we look at the chart, global production of plastic is 359 million tons. Plastic production volume increasing, which means that the plastic waste is also increasing. But poor management of the waste will pose significant risk of leakage to the environment. And the amount is huge. If you look at the slides, the amount is huge. Let's admit it, plastic is not the problem, but poor plastic waste management is a big, big problem. For instance, only 14% of the world's plastic waste are collected and recycled. And that's the average value. Some countries may achieve 30%, while others are only as low as a few percent. But the effort comes with endless challenges in the entire value chain. Here's an example of where plastic waste ends up in Europe. Of course, some countries in Europe and US have sent the plastic waste to recycle in Asia. As in the Northern Europe, Japan has only 2% waste end up in landfills, while 68% end up in incineration and 30% recycled. For us in Malaysia, most of our plastic waste end up in landfills, while the very low percentage is recycled. The Malaysian government just announced 2 days ago to impose a levy of only $5 per metric ton on imported quote-unquote clean plastic waste for recycling effective 1st of June. Even for landfills, plastic cannot be permanently eliminated from the environment if left to degrade. Although some countries are doing better than the others, but the fact remains that we must do something about this problem. If we refer to the plastic waste management chain, there are a few methods. The first one is pyrolysis. It is a thermal degrading of plastics into chemical liquid or oil. And it is an expensive process that requires huge capital investment. As such, multinational companies such as resin producers are able to carry out the project. The second method is compostable, bio-based, or biodegradable. It involves sourcing for greener, renewable alternatives. That is why we in Thong focuses on producing bio-based film and compostable plastic film today. And this allows us to offer a greener product range for our customers, which helps them one step closer to their sustainability goals. And today we want to focus on the third method, which is mechanical recycling, because it is a more practical and feasible method to execute. And through our LiveGreen program, be it internally or externally, we want to reuse and repurpose the plastic life cycle. Firstly, we face challenges in the collection of plastic waste, from low collection rates to poor collaboration among the stakeholders. As everyone knows, sorting is a known problem to all. It is a major segregation headache with broad range of plastic materials to be recycled. So we have to segregate printed and non-printed, various shapes and forms, non-metallized, metallized barrier film, multinational laminates, and the list goes on. And after sorting, the plastic waste need to be crushed into small pieces of flakes and cleaned in the washing plant with certified water treatment facilities. It is then dried and fed into the extruders to recycle. However, the ultimate pain comes from the cost. That is, from logistics to all the processes to manage plastic waste incurred costs. If this cost of managing plastic waste is not taken up by any of the stakeholders, then the circular loop could not be closed. You know, it is easy to talk and good to talk about circular economy, but nothing will happen. So the problem remains. Who's going to pay for the cost of recycling? Are the brand owners who are financially strong going to pay for it? Or the consumers is going to pay for it? So the question is, will recycling waste be cheaper than the virgin material? However, many brand owners are still up for the challenge. Despite all the challenges, they have officially and publicly pledged and announced their respective sustainability goals. Some of them include PepsiCo, Nestle, Starbucks, IKEA, Unilever, Coca-Cola, and more. I know you can refer to all these in the website. Most brand owners invest 60 or 70% of the time and resources in the product design and fully automated production of the primary packages. It is good, in my opinion, to focus on sustainability during this early stage. That means we start with the end in mind, with sustainability with a priority. They also spend up to 25% of time and resources designing good secondary packaging, and only 10% left for external packaging, which is tertiary packaging or transport packaging. And this could be the cause of product damages, which is insecure goods. According to Leuven University of Belgium, 4% of goods are damaged upon arrival. There is the product damages, repacking, reverse logistics, extra documentations, loss of man hours. All these are not helping in promoting sustainability. I would like to thank Dow Chemical for collaborating with Newton in the project. We call it Protection Plus, to promote transportation safety, that is pedal load stability, hence directly promoting sustainability. Well, with collaboration with the value chain is strong, when the collaboration within the value chain is strong, we can take a step closer to our sustainability packaging industry circular economy. The brand owners, in collaboration with other stakeholders, to incorporate design best for packaging and recycling. If the recycled resin remains more expensive than virgin material, there's a question, that's an important question. Then a certain level of commitment is required to ensure a circular economy happens. And retailers to route the disposed packaging film back to the cycle while providing consumers with recycling options. And we, the consumers, should be educated on household waste segregation and disposal. And this is done very, very well by the Japanese housewife. Again, Newton will test the film with recycled content in the static and dynamic simulation lab for optimized packaging solutions in directly promoting sustainability. In conclusion, Guan is ready to be the mediator and the collaborator to close the loop. Ultimately, strong collaboration makes circular economy possible. Lastly, sustainability is everyone's accountability. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention. Now we are going to show a video on sustainability. Thank you.
This is a story about the future. Everything is plastic today. Plastic is lightweight, durable, and versatile. That is why plastic is easier, safer, and it makes more sense than other materials. This supercomputer is probably made of around 40% of plastics. came in a plastic packaging that has been stacked together with other phones on a pallet wrapped with stretch films to be transported to distributors and stores. Since the first fully synthetic plastic Bakelite was invented in 1907 by a Belgian-American, Leo Hendrik Bakelin, plastic has been roaming our only habited planet, making ways into everything in our lives. Today, we cannot live without it. I know, this is weird coming from us, a stretch film and flexible packaging manufacturer. We have to admit that the invention of plastic is not the problem. After all, it has made many things possible. Spaceships made of plastics can block cosmic rays better than aluminum. Aeroplanes with plastic technology gives us unparalleled durability, comfort, and fuel efficiency. Single-use medical tools and equipment for safety purposes, and many more products that otherwise couldn't have functioned as expected with other existing materials. We can safely admit that as a manufacturer and user of plastics, it is the processes, supply chain, policymakers, and businesses that revolve around plastic usage and waste management. So we at Thong Guan is striving to make a change. We seek all our partners, customers, and users to join us in making it happen. Because the only way forward is the circular way. Progressive mindset, innovations, and the willingness to take up the challenge to change are the ethos of Thong Guan towards a better future. We recycle all our stretch film waste produced internally or from our customers. The LiveGreen program offers you a total solution, creating a value chain from supply to end. By getting the stretch films from Thong Guan, you will be participating in our LiveGreen program, all in efforts of a better future. To close the loop, the resins from our recycled stretch film waste will be transported to the extruder for formulated mixing and new stretch film production. For films that were produced that are unsellable due to minor defects, it will not go to waste. They will be transported to the re-roll station. At the re-roll station, we will use any part of the films that are still good to be rolled into smaller rolls. This way, we do not use unnecessary resources to melt the entire roll with just minor defects. We melt down the unusable stretch films for use in plastic bags. By using the waste for different applications, we achieve zero waste. Do your part. Join us. Join LiveGreen.
I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much, Dr. PK Ang, for the thorough explanation on sustainability. Indeed, sustainability is the only way forward. With what we have now, we have to think of ways to be good stewards so our environment remains protected. Next up, we have the Asia Pacific Sustainability Director of the Dow Chemical Company, Dr. Zhang Han, to let us in on what is happening in the region with regards to sustainability.
Hello everyone, I'm very glad to be part of Thong Guan's LiveGreen event. My name is Han Zhang. I'm the Asia Pacific Sustainability Director for Dow Packaging and Specialty Plastics. At Dow, our people use science and collaboration to create what matters most to our customers, society, and the planet. Our ambition to be the world's most innovative, customer-centric, inclusive, and sustainable material science company drives best-in-class performance and a culture where new ideas thrive. We are one of the world's largest producers of polyethylene resins, functional polymers, and adhesives. Combining core strengths of R&D, broad product offering, and industry expertise, we deliver high-performing technologies for end-use markets in packaging, personal hygiene, infrastructure, consumer goods, and transportation. We are a leading innovator and a collaborator across the value chain on sustainable application development and circular economy design for plastics. As we know, plastic provides a solution to keep food fresh and deliver high performance, durability, lightweight, and protection. A study shows that if we replace plastics with the best available materials on the market, the material consumption will increase at least 55 million metric tons. Energy consumption will increase by 80%, and greenhouse gas emissions will also increase by 130%. This would cost almost $400 billion to society each year. The value of plastic is even more significant during COVID-19. The pandemic disrupted our normal life. I hope you are all safe. I also hope plastic is the material of choice of you, no matter if it's for packaging or personal protection equipment. Indeed, during this pandemic, plastics keep all of us, particularly those who are risking their lives on the front line, safe. Skyrocketing numbers of COVID cases and tremendous pressure on healthcare systems have underscored that plastic is still the most reliable and affordable solution. From masks to protection gowns to food packaging, plastics are helping to shield people around the world from the deadly virus. However, we cannot congratulate ourselves for the benefit of plastics and ignore the waste issue it creates when it's not properly managed. COVID-19 and related economic uncertainties put significant pressure on waste management and disrupted the recycling sector. We may see large volume of plastic waste end up in the landfill or natural environment after the pandemic. So, how do we make a world without waste possible? Actually, you shouldn't have to decide between performance or sustainability when talking about plastic. Plastic needs to do its job and be good for the planet. At Dow, we are inspiring and creating value with innovative solutions for responsible plastics use, reuse, repurposing, and recycling. We will work to keep plastic out of the environment. We will deliver circular economy solutions, but we cannot do it alone. That's why we will partner with Guan and many of you to maximize impact. Last year, we launched our new sustainability targets. We intend to stop the waste by enabling 1 million metric tons of plastic to be collected, reused, or recycled through our direct actions and partnerships by 2030. We also aim to close the loop by enabling 100% of our products sold into packaging applications to be reusable or recyclable by 2035. In the meantime, we plan to become carbon neutral by 2050. To make plastic a circular economy solution, we are helping customers redesign and promote reusable or recyclable packaging applications. For example, our recycle-ready technology platform helped many customers convert their non-recyclable packaging into 100% recyclable. We are also actively closing the loop by developing technologies to improve the quality of post-consumer recycled plastics. Last year, we developed and commercialized a new formulated post-consumer recycled plastic resin designed for collision shrink film in Asia Pacific. The new resin is designed with a 40% PCR content, which creates a film with a performance comparable to those made with virgin resins. The product is designed specifically to meet the growing demand for e-commerce, which requires durable, efficient packaging that can protect the products throughout their supply chains while minimizing waste to the environment. Another advantage of our one-pallet PCR solution is that it provides consistent quality and the highest environmental health and safety standard. Besides plastic waste, another challenge we're facing is climate change. As we all know, plastic has lower carbon footprint than many alternatives. We still can do more with plastics. Working with our partner UPM, we are able to turn a waste residual from a paper production into bio-naphtha, creating an alternative and renewable feedstock for plastic production. Unlike other alternative renewable feedstocks, this waste product comes from sustainably managed forests, requires no extra land resources, and there is no competition with the human food chain. The bio-based PE can reduce greenhouse gas emissions by more than 50% when compared to standard fossil-derived PE resins, and can help converters to meet their sustainability goals. The entire supply chain of this product is ISCC Plus certified, meaning all steps meet traceability criteria and reduce negative environmental impacts. Recently, Japan government included Dow's bio-based plastic portfolio into their 2030 roadmap of bioplastics. And I'm very proud to say that one of our first bio-based PE commercial success in Asia is with Guan. Nano Bio, the new range of stretch clean films by Guan, is made with Dow's renewable plastics. Plastic waste and climate change are two of the most sustainability challenges of our time. The plastic industry is at the pivot moment. There are many things we can make a change. It could be as simple as preventing plastic pellet leaking into the environment from our own operation. There are easy practices to follow, such as the Operation Clean Sweep. We could also encourage our employees, families, and friends to do an environmental cleanup, just like Dow and Guan did in Penang Monkey Beach. We not only removed almost a ton of waste from the beach, but also helped local hawkers to set up the waste management. We must do a better job of capturing and reusing plastic by scaling investments in collection, waste management, recycling technologies, and new end market. Working together, we can create a circular world for plastics. With that, I wish Guan a successful event and look forward to collaborating with many of you on the journey of sustainability.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chang Han. If you do have any questions for Dr. Chang Han, you can always click on the Q&A icon located at the bottom of the Zoom application. I think we have got a few coming in. Okay, before you send your question, please state your name and your company so we know who we are addressing. And if you have a specific question for somebody, one of the speakers, please write down, do note so that they will know that it is the question for them. Next up, we have Peter McCullough from Thailand in South Africa.
Hello and welcome. My name is Peter McCullough and I'm one of the owners of Thailand M-Stretch and International, and we are suppliers of stretch film into the South African and the African market. Today's topic about sustainability in packaging and plastic is an interesting topic. When Thailand first started the journey of selling stretch film into the market, we used cast stretch wrap as a commodity to enter into a market and supply a product that could compete against all the other suppliers and manufacturers of this type of product. However, in the last 4 years, we have been very fortunate with the partnership we have with Thong Malaysia to be able to offer a 33 and a 55 layer nano stretch film. This has been a first for South Africa. We pride ourselves on being a company that is innovative. We always ready to look for opportunities. And with the introduction of nano from Thong, we were masters, and we still are masters, of allowing film to be used in the correct manner. The question is, what does this have to do with sustainability? That's quite easily answered. We have a philosophy at this company that thinner is better. We do not go thinner for the sake of protecting our margins. We are actually using technology that has been given to us from our factory with the raw material content and the extrusion capabilities of our factory. We are able to offer a product that reduces the amount of plastic that needs to be applied onto a pallet. This is the model that we have delivered on, and we continually deliver. The biggest drawback we have in trying to get this film into the market is to educate people. People are set in their ways. Nobody likes change. But when you see this particular product and you come and we talk to our customers and we say to them, we have a product for you that is going to save you money, it's going to save you energy. The first question we have is, what is your price per kilo, or what is your roll price? That is an outdated approach. The education we have needed and still continue to drive with our potential and our customers is the fact that cost savings can be driven by going thinner, but allowing for effective packaging in the correct manner. Thong embarked on a project where we went into the market with T Nano 33 and T Nano 55, our brand. We went to the customers, we said to them, can we reduce your packaging costs? Can we improve on your packaging? And can we save you lots of money? Firstly, we had to get into a situation where we had to know where the product was being used, what the criteria was for the product, and what the difficulties were that our current customers were experiencing. By introducing Nano, we have come in with a totally different selling concept. For us, we look at a pallet, we determine what wraps need to be put onto the pallet, and then we conduct a trial. The trials are always conducted by having our product and that which is currently being used. What we do is we wrap in the process that is used at site, and we do exactly the same with our product. At this stage, this is the point where we get to, where we talk about sustainability and how we can impact on the product in the market. We look at the yields, and we prove to the customer initially that our product does the job. From this step, we move to the second step, and that is we try and improve on the packaging. By this, we involve ourselves with, whether it be semi-automatic or automatic machines. We go and we set the machines to the optimum that they can derive, thus allowing for us to give the advantages of Nano to our customers. And what we're doing here is we're actually stretching the product more, but we're not killing the product. We're stretching it to a point where the load retention values on the pallet, which are measured by a system we have in place, are actually improved compared to the current film. Once this has been done, we then cut the plastic off again, and we say to the customer, here's your current weight, here's the weight that we should be striving to achieve. By this, we then prove that irrespective of a price per kilo, the cheapest price is not always the best price. We're actually saying to the customer, let us give you a product that does the job properly, improves your packaging, and saves you money. But more importantly, how much plastic are you, the customer, saving each month, each time you use our Nano film? This is the message we try to get across to the market. With nanotechnology and sustainability, we were allowed the opportunity to actually rethink our strategy in the market. No more was plastic going to be a commodity. We actually have to, rather than call it sustainability, we at Thong call it responsible packaging. We are going to be responsible for the manner in which we conduct our business, trying to save on any aspect that it might improve on the environment, the aspects of the environment, and where we can improve to use less plastic. From this aspect, we have moved to a hand wrapper, which is also nano-based. And what we have done, and we are the first in our country to offer this technology, it's a pre-stretch folded edge material. This has been designed to, again, reduce the amount of plastic that is required, but to effectively wrap a pallet with less plastic each time it is applied. The benefit of this film is obviously the strength of this film. It has already been pre-stretched, but there is a strength to this film, and that is mainly due to the fact that on the edges there's a fold. This allows for the plastic to not break. Now, why is this important in the plastic packaging market and the hand wrapping market? It's quite simple. Again, it goes back to a cost per pallet, and do we require that amount of plastic to wrap a pallet? This particular film, which is our T Nano Light, is a 5 micron film. Yes, 5 micron. If we had to say to our customers right from the outset that we were offering a 5 micron film, people would laugh at us and they would say, please, it's far too thin. We prefer to use the standard film that we've got. We have to educate people again that this film has been pre-stretched from a thicker material down to a 5 micron, thus allowing for less energy to be required when applying to a pallet because the stretch is already there. So all we have to do is attach the plastic to the pallet correctly and wrap to a systematic way where the overlap is correct and the product is retained on the pallet. That is the intention of a pre-stretched hand wrapper. Again, responsible packaging. What does it cost per pallet? In this particular instance, we work on average cost per pallet, and we've been very successful in the logistical and the food sector where this film has been accepted as the standard. Why do we brand the core green? Thong went into the market where we thought that we needed to do something that if we delivered a product to the customer and there was something left of it, we needed to collect that. It's part of our footprint. What we actually did is we branded our cores green for us, so when we went to the customer, we would supply training, going to the market and ensure that less plastic was used when wrapping a pallet. We applied a green core, which was 38 millimeters in internal diameter, and we supplied that product with the intention of putting bins onto site and collecting cores at the end of each month. The system we have in place is that at our customers with a bin, if a person using plastic wants another roll of new plastic, they have to bring back an empty core. In other words, we are eliminating waste, which is critical because in hand wrapping or any other packaging, the last portion of the roll, the last 2 to 3 to 5 centimeters is always left on the roll and thrown away. We are ensuring that with this system, we collect the core, or the person has to use all the plastic before they can get a new core. Now what Thong also did in terms of being friendly to the environment and also being a responsible supplier, we reduced our core internal diameter from 38 to 25. We've gone down to a thinner core. It does exactly the same job, but what we've done is we've reduced the amount of paper that is required. So from our aspects, all we're trying to do is supply less plastic with a more cost-efficient core, collecting the cores off site and ensuring that the chain continues. We reuse these cores to rewind other plastic onto pallets, of which we supply back to our customers again. Why is this important in the message that we're trying to achieve in the market? All too good. When people talk about sustainability, I think we throw words around. We use the words in sustainability, enviro-friendly, eco-friendly, and all of that. I think we've really got to sit down and look at the aspect of stretch film or plastic as a whole. I don't believe that plastic is the evil that people make it out to be. Plastic is a necessity, but I do feel that plastic needs to be used in the correct manner. It is our responsibility to use technology, to use the right formulation of product the right equipment and also the right product to give to our customer to ensure that our packaging needs are to reduce plastic, to reduce the cost, and also to effectively ensure that our business continues. We are not here to not make money, but we are here to ensure that we save money to our customers. So that is the message that we deliver. All aspects of nanofilm are supplied to us through our factory. There are new developments within nano, of which we're looking at further sustainability or responsible packaging. And these we need to understand. People talk about biodegradable, they talk about recycled. We already have products in the market where we use 30% of in-house recycled in the actual raw material content of the hand wrappers we supply into the market. So we're taking raw material, putting it in that's been used in the factory, and what we're trying to do is clean up the act, put it into a product that is less critical on application. The new developments for which we are learning is a bio-based material. This will be dealt with obviously by the technical people from Thong, who are the specialists. But what we hope to do, and we are attempting to do in the South African market, is introduce the first bio-based machine nano wrap. This will be supplied to a very large beverage company who will be doing development on this product to see what the implications are in terms of running the machine. Does it affect the actual application of the product on the pallet? And is it the right message that we're sending? Bio-based means exactly what it is. The concept from Thong will be a wood extract that is into the raw material formulation of the product. Thaigen takes the development of the stretch wrap market as a very serious strategy in our survival. Technology without technology, and without the fact that we want to create the most cost-effective package to our customers, without looking and pushing the boundaries, we are not prepared to sit back and be a player that supplies a commodity. We need to be responsible, we need to look at our packaging, and we need to be serious about trying to do the right thing for us now and for the environment going forward. Plastic needs to be recycled as part of a chain. In the South African market, plastic is recycled. There are a lot of organizations recycling plastic that I think are not given enough credit. One sector of the recycled market that is doing exceptionally well is the PET bottle industry. And from reports that I've recently read, I believe that the fact is that 65% of the bottles that are manufactured are actually being recycled. That is quite a phenomenal achievement. The same needs to apply towards all other plastic. However, the biggest drawback we have, and this is what makes plastic the necessary evil that people call it, get rid of plastic. I think the phase of education, we need to start educating people that they need to be more responsible. They cannot buy or use plastic and throw it away. This is common ground for our market. We've seen it through Africa as well. People need to be educated in the fact that when they use it, please put it away. Don't throw it away. When the wind blows, plastic is light. You see plastic all over the place. But if plastic can be recycled in the correct manner, this is a good step towards being more sustainable, a responsible person in the market. I urge everybody, please, think about your packaging, think about who you're dealing with. We at Thaigen would like to, in conjunction with Thong, offer you the best packaging, sustainable solutions. We want to use less plastic. We want to go thinner, but we don't want to impact on the importance of your packaging. So please consider these facts and think every time you buy plastic. Cheap is not always the answer. We welcome any contact with Thaigen, and we're in a position where we would love to deal with you. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Peter McCullough. Indeed, cheap is not always the answer. Next up, we have Lylan Thong, the Sales Director from Messi Worldwide, to tell us more about sustainability during exhibitions.
Hi everyone, my name is Lynn. I am from Messi Worldwide, and I am actually the Sales Director who represents what you call it German trade fair organizers. We actually have 4, and these 4 are mainly concentrating on quite a number of industries. And of course, we do include K, which is the largest plastics and rubber manufacturing exhibition held in Düsseldorf every 3 years. Our specialty, of course, as you can see, is based on trade fairs, as well as that of events. And we now also encompass B2B matching, as well as doing a lot more in terms of local sourcing. We don't want to box ourselves into a particular industry, and using our expertise, we'll be able to do more when it comes to that. Now, when it comes to doing plastic usage in our industry, we know that exhibitions in this case do use quite a bit. We don't want to also say that we do not acknowledge that plastics does contribute to waste, but we ensure ourselves to be more economical as well as being more sustainable by reusing and recycling the plastics that have been used. For instance, we use plastics when it comes to covering up carpets during installation of stand building. That is to avoid the dirtying of the carpets, but at the same time, it is also a great source of ensuring that we do not have to reuse each time a piece of plastic that needs to go on top of something else. How do we do this? Is like when we lay a carpet, the plastic goes on, we build the stand, and then it goes on from there. And then when it's time to remove the plastic, we remove it, but we ensure that we put it into a location that we can reuse it again. If there is an option where we can recycle it, why not? If not, then we will look at it in a different role. We also look at spearheading it in terms of innovative technologies. For instance, K, in this case, has always been a major part of how plastics and rubber in the industries have to undergo a lot of innovation, a lot of product, referencing, so that we can ensure that plastics are also recyclable. So there are more and more people nowadays actually looking at recycling plastic, and not just that, products that come from recycled plastic. Through the exhibitions that we spearhead, we are able to see more and more of this happening. And judging from the way that Malaysians are also taking this towards, we can safely say that we are looking at being more sustainable because we're adopting a less, single-use plastics life. In the case of COVID-19, for instance, this industry is definitely not easy to be in because we're unable to stage events. But in light of the fact that we now can, we're hoping that adopting a bigger, healthier lifestyle, as well as a very, very high level hygiene concept that will be able to ensure the safety of visitors and exhibitors alike. The plastic industry, in this case, has contributed to a major part of it. How is that? Well, through the use of gloves, even shoe covers, because this would then prove to be beneficial for everyone when we are interacting with others. Now, in the case of sustainability for us, whether it's from the business perspective or from an environmental perspective, we have to be very objective. From a business perspective, sustainability means being able to pivot our business to look at it differently. Well, being in an exhibitions industry, now especially, is a very challenging time. How do we go about doing it? Then we need to see whether or not being just in exhibitions is enough. So in order to sustain our business, we have gone into other things, including, for instance, organizing webinars going on to a digital scale, looking at what our database is looking for so that we can meet their demands. Aside to that, environmental issues have always played a part. Our office has always made it a point to recycle all of our printed brochures that we receive from Germany and elsewhere, so that we do not end up contributing to the waste that is already accumulating in this world. For instance, in Malaysia, we already have enough football fields contained of waste that cannot be recycled, so why should we then contribute to it? Plastics also plays a major part of how much we receive from all over the world. So in order to reduce that carbon footprint, we also ensure that we recycle those plastics by giving it away to the responsible recycling centers. We don't want to make it a goal, but we want to put it as a practice. In fact, we already practice it since the day that we have been incorporated. That would be at least a good 30 years ago, right? So when you look at it, we say, why not be a sustainable company, not just through our business goals, but also to what we do in the office. So when we ensure that this is part and parcel of our lives, it becomes a guarantee that even our friends and family are able to live a more healthier lifestyle. When it comes to making sure that our place on earth is predetermined by the amount of waste that we generate, we want to make sure that we are not making things worse for our environment. In terms of sustainability and our hopes, wow, that's a huge aspiration to have, I would believe. We want to not be churning out unwanted giveaways, for instance. You know how exhibitions, we always have this thing about giving away pens, we're giving away paperweights, but majority of that, unfortunately, to the gift and premium industry, is plastic. A lot of it does come from China. No offense to them, they do great products, but what do we do with them at the end of the day? I have the stuff that comes from exhibitions that I don't even know whether I'm going to be using them. So instead of doing that, why not adopt a more healthier and more sustainable lifestyle by looking at it from a different perspective? There's so much plastics out there that we can actually recycle into better products. So why not do that instead of actually trying to churn up more chemicals that contribute to it? And then by doing so, we are able to save the planet. This also goes to show that even Thong, for instance, has also embarked on it with their new cling film by using wood waste. I believe this is a way forward because at the end of the day, why not? They do share the components of biodegradable aspects. And in that aspect, we hope that more and more companies in this country would be able to do so. It is definitely more difficult in the beginning because we live a certain lifestyle. We don't know how to adjust ourselves. So I think education is always key when it comes to ensuring that sustainability and the industry will always look towards each other and saying we can coexist so that we become bigger, better people. In our country, according to a statistics survey by MIT, Malaysia hopes to achieve a 50% reduction of carbon footprint based on the levels of 2005 by the time we reach 2020. We're now 2021. Where exactly we are at, I'm not too sure. But then they would say to reduce by 45% in addition by the time we turn 2030. I do think we have a long way to go because we're not exactly there yet. Lifestyle in Malaysia is that we need to have plastics as part and parcel of our lives. We used to complain that, buying a piece of plastic bag from, for instance, Village Grocer or Jaya Grocer or any of these supermarkets is a pain because why do we need to pay 20 cents when it would used to be our lifestyle? Now we don't because we know that it would reduce the number of plastic bags out there. That doesn't mean that single-use plastics is bad for us. Not necessarily. At the end of the day, it is all about education. And if at the end of the day, we can reduce carbon footprint one step at a time by being our own individual selves, as well as that of the country, why not? I do think if we band together and be united in combating carbon footprint and reducing it to a sustainable level, then we'll be able to see more and more better things in this country. With that, I thank you very much for your time, and I hope that my session has been as knowledgeable as yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Lalin Fong, for that eye-opening sharing. Indeed, there are some things that we don't really need. Okay, so next we have Christian Olsen, the load stability expert from TG Europe, who will share about what happens during the delivery of goods. Christian.
Hello everyone, my name is Christian Olsen. I work as a load stability specialist for TG and Newton Lab. I mainly do support in Europe. Today I want to speak to you about sustainability in Europe. Myself, I have about 20 years experience in the stretch film business, mainly on the technical part of the stretch film business, but also on the film itself. I can code and adjust full automatic wrappers, and this is also what I do in Europe, is that I do support and a lot of training for 52 partners in Europe, especially support on the wrapping machines when they go into end users, and we have to adjust the wrapping machines for the best settings for the film we are using. Besides this, we do a lot of load stability tests according to IMOS 40509, and we are about to launch our own test center here in Europe, located in Denmark. And besides this, we have 3 mobile test centers in Europe, one in Spain, one in Germany, and one in UK. And we will soon have one in Denmark as well. And these are for sure to support the market for making sure that our customers and partners has easy access to make sure that their pallets are according to the IMOS standard 40509. In Europe, we have a very high demand for load stability, especially since EU has made a law that each pallet has to be able to handle a certain G-force when they're on the roads in EU, and this was made to a law in 2018. And here, for this, stretch film is a very important factor because it's the most used protection on the transport from A to B. And stretch film is also a product that is easy to handle, even for smaller or big end users. You have hand rolls, machine rolls. You can use it on smaller wrapping machines. You can use it on big wrapping machines, depending on the demand for pallets you need to wrap for each day. So it can also be used for light or heavy pallets, and also fragile pallets. It depends on the film that we are using. We can change that, and then there will be a different support from the film to the pallet depending on the brand we are choosing. And it's also, of course, also about how the pallet is looking. Generally, in Europe, we are trying to find a fine balance between consumption of plastic or stretch film and load stability. There's a lot of confusion of what is the correct amount of plastic to be used. Is it 150, 300, 450 grams? Many do that based on experience, and if you don't have the experience, you highly is going to make some wrong decisions. So therefore, it's important when you're using the stretch film to choose the right film for the load. And then we are coming back, is it a light, heavy pallet? What is the weight? What kind of machine do I have to wrap the pallet with? All these factors are important when we want to choose the right film. And then right settings of the machine is to understand each machine. Does it have a pre-stretch, or is it braking machine? And then you find the right settings to the film that you have chosen to use on this load. These things are very important as well. And then afterwards, we need to come up with tests to show that we have proof that the pallet is suitable for the roads in EU. So this is getting bigger and bigger, this type of business, and it gets more and more important because the police are doing more and more controls, and therefore it's important to have these kind of things. When it comes to sustainability, it's about understanding also what sustainability is. If you look at the words and if you Google it and you hear about it, so sustainability means that meeting our own needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So it actually means that we need to try to keep the world as it is or in better shape for the future generations. So in the way I see it, it's about using less plastic. We need to have safer roads, so we make sure that the pallets that we're sending onto the road doesn't kill or make damage to the people who are also on the roads. And then no waste. With that I mean we have 4% of all the goods that we are sending around with damage. This need to be reduced. So the perfect world would be to have no product to be damaged, because if it's damaged, it's waste, and then we're wasting CO2, salaries, etc., etc. So in this way is the way that I see that we should try to make a more sustainable world. What we do here in TG is that we use what we call the nano stretch film. It's a film where we use multi-layers of film, and the way it works is that if you compare it, for example, with bulletproof glass, if you have one piece of glass, the bullet goes quite easy through. But if you want to make a bulletproof glass, you glue a lot of glasses together and it will stop the bullet. The same applies for our stretch film in nanotechnology, is that with all these layers, we're able to do a higher puncture in the stretch film. And by this, we can go to a thinner level of consumption, a thinner thickness of the film when we apply it to the pallet, which causes to the less consumption of the pallet. This will, of course, instead of using 300 grams, we can maybe go to 180, 150, and then afterward we can prove it with tests that the goods are still safe on the roads. So these are one of the rings that we're working a lot on, and this is where we have our success now. We're trying to improve this with new raw materials and new investments of machines, etc., etc. Then we have the whole recycle. Recycle is important because recycle is the way that we can reuse the plastic we are using. So we in the company use a lot of time and energy on this to keep on trying to see how we can use the recycled material again and again. Then we have the biomaterial. Biomaterial is something that has been to the market for quite a long time. But how I see it is that the biomaterial we see in the market we have to use the nature to get it. We have found a different way. We are using wood waste and making that into a biomaterial. That means that we have a win-win situation where we use waste and we can use that inside our material. And it actually shows that the biomaterial we are using has very good effects and is very good mix with the stretch film. So I have very high beliefs in this product for us. And then again, if we're going to do all these changes in the stretch film and changes with recycle, we are really putting a lot of effort to come up with test centers and making sure that our partners in Europe can offer more tests, because it's going to be very, very important. We have to be sure that we don't download so much or we weaken the stretch film too much, so the pallet will cause damage on the road or damage to the product that is shipping from A to B. When it comes to sustainability in generally, these three elements are very important. Stretch film is one of the difficult products to recycle, because you have to remember we are pre-stretching the film under a process. That means that we have an active plastic. In many cases, it goes from 1 meter to 4 meters, and one small dot or hole or dirt or anything else, the film will get a hole, and then we don't have the consistency that our partners are needing in running a full speed production. So that means that we have to be very, very consistent and make sure that we are getting the right way into this recycle business.
But I believe that there's opportunities to do this. We are talking about something called a loop system. What I think could be very good is could be that we can reuse the stretch film that we are sending to our customers, and they make agreement that our customers can collect the stretch film. Stretch film, you cannot mix it up with other plastics, means that you cannot mix in with LDP from bags or HDP from bags or PP, because all these film plastics cannot be stretched, and if we mix it all together, we cannot make a recycled stretch film. So these are the important thing is the control of the raw material that we are collecting. It has the right quality, but it also means that we need the brand owners to help us if we're going to do the recycled stretch film with collection of the film from the pallets that they're sending out or the one they are receiving. And I believe that we should in the future be able to do good nano stretch film with 30% recycled material inside, but there's a lot of work ahead of us, and but it should be achievable. We have a good team behind us, and TG is very, very dedicated to move into this area. What we have to remember also is that when you're looking at the material you can see today with recycle, none of them can pre-stretch much, so you will easily see a consumption, let's say, of 400 grams, and then the nanomaterial will still do 150 grams. So we are not there yet, so we can see that stretch film already have a sustainable solution, but there are still ways, and it will come on the recycle. But this is a difficult part. But we are launching the biomaterial right now. This is clever to use, as I told you before. We have high demand, high beliefs in this, and we need to keep on developing it so we can put more and more biomaterial inside. But again, there will be a limit because of the stretch film. It's an active film that we are pre-stretching from 1 to up to 4 meters, and in some cases even more. I'm coming from Denmark in Europe, and there's a high focus on sustainability, absolutely, in Europe. Every big brand owner or medium-sized brand owners has a lot of questions, and also in EU they have started to add taxes on plastic without recycled content, and each government are finding its own way of getting that money back. So we will see over the next months and years more countries in EU that will add on taxes with product that doesn't have a certain percentage of recycled material. And this is a way of adding pressure to the market to make sure that we are recycling more and more. We are also in a market where there's a lot of confusion for the brand owners from what is right and what is wrong, and this is mainly because there's a misunderstanding sometimes in the market, and many have a profit solution for someone, but it's important that we keep on studying and do trials for new solutions, and we try to educate and train as much as possible to make the world a more sustainable world to be in. I have high hopes, and I can see good future for it with the one who are willing to invest money and to do more study in this. And this is driven by the raw material manufacturers and the manufacturers together, and combine this with information to the brand owners. These are the key things for us to go into the market. And I think within a period of 3 to 5 years, we will see some very good things on the sustainability of plastics. Good. Thank you. That was all for me from this time. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much, Christian Olsen. We now know that product damage really needs to be significantly reduced as a step forward towards sustainability. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have any more questions, please use the Q&A button below at the Zoom application. Do state your name, your company, and who the question is addressed to, so we know who you are answering and who should answer. Okay, right now, for our final speaker, we have General Manager of Thong Guan Industries, David Ang, to share about what Thong Guan is doing to ensure sustainability in the business. David, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Rachel. So good morning to our friends in Europe. Good afternoon to those in Asia. Good evening to those in Australia and New Zealand. And well past midnight in the US West Coast and almost at dawn on the East Coast. Thank you for joining us. Now, today I'm going to talk about the Thong Guan LiveGreen program, which is based on 3 pillars. Firstly, recycling. Secondly, bio-based. And thirdly, compostable. Straight into recycling, there are 3 programs here which we offer. I'm going to go through one by one with them. Now, first is the program Redo. What we do here is to close this circular loop by recycling. We have started this initiative locally in Malaysia, whereby we started to collect waste from the brand owners, or our partners or distributor will collect them, compact them, and we recycle them, and we remake them into recycled products, such as bags, garbage bags, or air cargo sheets, etc. Now, for overseas customers, what we are trying to do here is to work with partners whereby they can start collecting waste and compact them and ship it back to us. Now, with that, we either recycle here in Thong Guan, or we can send them to a recycling center where their recycled resins are certified. This is what we do with the program Redo. And then we have reused, which is a post-industrial waste usage into our stretch film. Thirdly, will be reduced. Now we are talking about, there was a question about paper core earlier. Now here we launched Nano Zero, where traditionally there's a paper core holding the film. But here we do not have a paper core. So instead we have a reusable plastic core whereby the users they can change the roles as they dispense. And the best thing is we can use to the last meter. We have tested this. And on the right-hand side of the screen, you will see Max Stretch. So Max Stretch was launched back in 2008 when the oil price was $147. Now we launched that to counter the increasing resin cost. And today we promote that as part of sustainability. And on top of Max Stretch would be what we call a Nano Light. It is our pre-stretch series, whereby we run starts from 5 micron up to 9 micron. Here we have Nano Zero. We are teaming up with Dow on this. We use Dow's bio-based material to produce what we call nano bio. So essentially what we are doing here is that we are replacing fossil products with a bio-based product. In terms of CO2 savings, it is 2.7 kilo of CO2 savings per kilo. Now, it is not part of, it is not in competition with part of food supply chain, which some of our competitor material does. And the best thing is recyclable, and it also promotes sustainable forestry. Now, this is a nano 10 micron bio-based, right? I'm going to play you this video. It is running at 65 RPM at 250% stretch. At the bottom left, you will see the boat profile. On the bottom right, you will see the load on an acceleration bench. We are proud to say that we are ready to commercialize Nano Bio. So that product was launched a couple of months back. This is an article in the Japanese packaging news. We have successfully did this, put the bio-based material in garbage bags to Japan. And for your information, Thong Guan is also the largest producer of garbage bags in Malaysia, exporting to the Japanese market specifically. Now, this is a video of our rooftop, of our different factories, different sites rooftop. We practice what we preach. We started to install the solar panels back in 2017. And yes, here we are today with all our rooftops are all solar powered. Now, what we have done in 2020 internally is to create the culture and the awareness of recycling. So what we have done essentially is that we have started to collect our internal waste, being resin outer bag from our blown division, the stretch hood, the used stretch hood from our resin suppliers, and the bulk container bags when we import the resin. So they are all bundled and recycled on site. They are then used to make into stretch, into bags, into construction film, into underlay film, air cargo sheets, etc. And the amount that we have collected in 2020 was 442 tons. Now, the key takeaway today is that we want to be sustainable. We want to promote sustainability. At the same time, we do not want to compromise transportation safety. And we want to reduce product damage, especially for the brand owners, for the factories, and of course, improve productivity and ultimately boost savings for our customers. So with this, we officially launched the LiveGreen program.
Businesses need to thrive, but not without a future. Let's pave the ways for tomorrows so we can thrive today. Let's live green. A whole new website to reflect the whys and hows, a direction we could all stand behind to embrace to forward. Join us and live green. Visit www.thongguan.com.
And there you have it, the launch of LiveGreen, our brand new website. Thank you very much, David Ang, and all the speakers from Dr. P.K. Ang, Dr. Chang Han, Peter McCullough, Lylin Thong, and Christian Olsen. If you enjoyed the video and would like to watch it again after this session, we have sent you the video of all the links via your email. We would also appreciate if you can complete the feedback form by scanning this QR code on the screen. Can we bring it up? Yeah, I'm sure you can see it. So can you please take a moment to scan the code right now? Because we would appreciate your feedback so we know what to improve in our next session. This is the very first webinar hosted by Thong Guan. So in the future, we want to make it better for you. You can also let us know what you want to know more about Thong Guan. For those who are interested in participating in the LiveGreen program, please click on the link in the chat and leave us with your details. Okay, and we have a LiveGreen team that will get back to you. Also, don't forget to check out our brand new website on www.thongguan.com and follow our social media pages on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. So if you have dropped us a question, I see there are a few questions pending right now. Okay, and if your questions have yet to be answered, do stay online as our speakers attend to it. We will leave the session on until all the questions are answered. So if you do have any questions, please send it right in and we will look into your questions. So for now, I will say goodbye. Okay, you still can send in the questions and we will leave after all the questions are answered. Our speakers will also be here to attend to your questions. So thank you very much for being here and for attending the webinar today. Until next time, Goodbye and stay safe.